Well, good morning and welcome to the press review today on the 10th of August 2022. My name is Helbert Skatanda and I'm joined by
Alice Chizonde.
How are you, Alice?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm very well. On a beautiful Wednesday morning, let's have a quick look at some of the stories written in the Daily Times newspaper and the Nation newspaper. So we are going to begin with the Nation newspaper. On the front page, there appears Registrar corners political parties. And of course, that's the headline. Partly the story says the Registrar of political parties has warned that he will whip political parties who, if not declare their assets and source of donations in line with the Political Parties Act. While some political parties have said they have already declared their assets, people are free to check with the registrar. A governance expert feels parties must lead by example on transparency. Well, I think, and I also agree with the expert that they should lead by example. You know, we've been talking about transparency and accountability. So the political parties are at the center of the whole issue of transparency and accountability. Yeah. So if they lead by example, I think even in the civil, we are going to have a clean civil service.
Yeah, even in the private sectors. Yeah. Because if they come out clean and then they tell the public that these are the things that we owe and stuff, then everyone is going to be on the safe hand and be like, okay, they know that, okay, these people, they have this, and then they're not going to have any troubles like in the future. Say, like, maybe they obtained some properties illegally, or even maybe they obtained those things in a corrupt way.
Yeah, you know, looking at the current Luntha issue, you know, it is alleged that most of political parties in Malawi were getting funded from that British business person. So we're just looking forward to them declaring their assets as well as disclosing their source of funding, you know, so that we should be sure where they get money and what motives do they use to get the money.
Yeah.
Well,
because I understand that for someone to receive the funding or someone to fund someone, there are some agreements to be done. Like you cannot just receive something and then you not return it, because when you receive something, you are supposed to return the favor.
Yeah.
So,
and there was a heated debate in Parliament last week. You know, legislators were they were denying, you know, to disclose their source of funding. So that leaves a lot to be desired. You know, we've been asking ourselves questions that why is it that they don't want to disclose where they get money?
Because they know.
What do they know?
Because they know that if they disclose some of the assets that they owe, then you're going to know that, okay, so these people, they are connected somehow to Satan, like they're receiving things from you.
All right.
So, yeah.
All right, moving on, there is another story which appears on the front page of the Nation newspaper, and it says ESCOM dying, says its CEO. That's of course the headline, and partly the story says Electricity Supply Corporation of Malawi Chief Executive Officer Kankwamba Kumwenda said yesterday the utility is on its deathbed, with piles of losses set to take its last breath. Kumwenda has since asked the Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority MERA to consider increasing in electricity tariffs if the power utility is to survive. Well, a sad development to our nation. I remember now it's months after we sent back a South African based company, Agrego, home, you know, and they were supplying us with generators that we were using to you know, beef up our electricity system. So now it's like ESCOM is on its own. Despite that that we have been assuring people that we are going to make things better soon. It seems like ESCOM is bleeding.
it's spreading at it's on its deathbed. Yeah. For the fact that we signed back Ejenko, I think that it was Agleco. It was doing a great job in supplying electricity in the country. Ever since it left, you can bear with me witness that we have been experiencing a lot of blackouts lately. Meaning to say, a lot of businesses as well. People are being affected. Let's say someone, for him to feed his family, maybe it depends on a barber shop. Maybe others are salonists. They depend on salons to make money. That people should go there and then they make up their hair and everything and stuff. They need electricity, and then you see that the electricity is not there, and then for their cucumber to bake mirror to raise the prices of electricity supply, which is not a good thing, because if the prices go up, meaning to say that Malawians do finigabi, it's not going to be raised.
We can say these are tough times for Malawians. We are already dying with punitive taxes, and on top of those punitive taxes, the prices of commodities have gone high, and we were also struggling with prices of fuel. Soon we will be talking about prices of maize, and that's our staple food, nsima, and it's made out of maize, and also prices of maize have gone high, which is to us, it's reflecting that there is no good governance in Malawi. And now they're saying that the only option for ESCOM to be working is by hiking the electricity tariffs. So, well,
I don't think we're going to survive.
Someone, I remember Albert Einstein wrote in one of his books that before you die, you are going to be blacked down into pieces, and I think this is the time for
as a country, indeed, you're breaking down. Okay.
Yeah, we are living in pieces.
Yes. All right. The Daily Times on the front page reads, DRTSS claims to cancel deal. Part of the story reads, Attorney General Thabo Chakaganyirenda has expressed surprise that the Department of Road Traffic and Safety Services is still running a contract with Movesa Feature Consulting, which was supposed to have been terminated. Nyirenda was reacting to reports of disagreement that has arisen between their private motor vehicle inspection stations, an association of stations that are inspecting vehicles in the country, and over the issues of Certificate of Fitness, COF, which is connected to the Malawi Traffic Information System.
Well, that raises our eyebrows. It's questionable to find that despite the period that they were supposed to terminate the contract, the company is still working with the road traffic. So they should tell us, that's the issue of transparency and accountability. Have they renewed the contract? So if they say yes, we've renewed the contract, why is it that the Attorney General is unaware of the development?
That's why you say these people, they're supposed to come out clean and tell the country, because it seems as if they have been running the project illegally, and maybe they are also choking the money.
And our question would be, let's say if they are continuing with the work, how many companies have also done that before the fisheries company?
I think a lot of companies in Malawi are doing so. Like they come in, or a lot of other outside investors, they come in the country and they sign a deal, and then the deal ends, the contract ends, but then they still continue working without either renewing it on years.
And they still call for taxes. The whole issue centers on the transparency and accountability issue. So if there is transparency, we are going to be aware of who is getting the contract, how has he gotten the contract, and why. is the Malawi government awarding a contract to that particular person. All right, now on the second page of the national newspaper, there appears Malawi HIV infections down 61%, and that's according to a reporter. That's of course the headline, and partly the story says Malawi has registered a decline in new HIV infections by 61%, despite slow global progress against the virus during the last 2 years of the COVID-19 pandemic. New data from the UNAIDS on the global HIV response has shown. Well, the issue of statistics is tricky, because there might be that we've registered a drop in infections because people are not going for testing.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, all right. We are happy that the infections have now gone down to 61%. But then we also should encourage the viewers to go and taste. Know your status.
Yeah, it's very important for one to know his or her status. Yeah, and this is just reminded me that ever since COVID came in, it turned that people in the country, we forgot that we also have HIV and AIDS in the country. Like people, it's like, it's true.
That's I do.
Yeah, I think this is, after you have read this story, that's when you have remembered that, oh, we also have this.
Yeah, we also have HIV and AIDS. Yeah, and all right. Since we cannot tell people what to do, but then we can just beg them to go and make sure you know your status.
Please be safe. Protect yourself, protect your loved ones, protect your families. Okay, the Daily Times is still on the front page. Leads Malawi to miss boundary decommission deadline. Part of the story, Minister of Lands Sam Gawale has said Malawi is likely to miss the African Union set deadline for completion of border demarcation and reaffirmation between neighboring Zambia and Mozambique. Speaking when he delivered his ministerial statement on the matter at Parliament yesterday, Kawale said such is the case due to the untimely and inadequate provision of resources on the Malawi side.
Well, missing deadline on such an important issue is not a thing that we should be smiling at. Well, it has been a tradition that in Malawi we normally set deadlines and then we miss our own set deadlines. For instance, like the new roads which are being constructed in Lilongwe, they had set a deadline in May 2022 and they missed their own set deadline. Now we are talking of that land demarcation issue, boundary demarcation rather issue, and
very important.
Yes, we've also seen a lot of things, a lot of government departments missing their own set deadlines. There was an issue of an audit report on COVID-19, 17.6 billion fund, until now we haven't gotten anything from the Office of the Auditors General. The report was leaked somewhere back, but then we are not sure of what was written in that report, if it's real. So yes, we know that it's the real report, but then they are not coming out and release the report. So the issue of missing deadlines on such important issues, well, it's draining Malawi, and somehow it's disadvantaging our economic growth.
Yeah, it's like the officials are relaxing on their job. They're not really doing that great job, which is not a good example at all.
Yeah, in Malawi, what we know is just to speak. Whether what we've spoken has been taken into account or not, we don't follow up. What we know is to speak. Today we are going to speak about this, and then later on we speak on another issue, while not paying much attention to the issue we spoke about months back. So I think we should be following up these issues so that there should be accountability and the transparency we were talking about.
Yeah, not just do you remember that book, The Unsung Song?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what these government officials, they do in this country. They are good at singing, but they are good at promising things, and then they're good at just declaring that, okay, you're going to do this, but then in terms of fulfilling them, they are not good at it.
And our paperwork is always on point. You know, when it comes to writing, Malawi, we write a lot of good stuff, but then to implement them,
like
that's a challenge.
On the ground, that people should say, it's a very big challenge.
Yeah, the country is full of sugarcoating things.
They are good at that.
All right, now on the third page of the Russian newspaper, there appears food shortage reports ilk expert, and that's of course the headline. Partly the story says an agriculture expert, Kennedy Machira, says the food insecurity reports in the country raise questions on the impact of the Twins Alliance Affordable Inputs program launched to address hunger. Over the past 2 years, government has spent over 800 billion kwacha to improve food security, only to end up subsidizing household food consumption. Another sad development. Well, government launched the Affordable Inputs program that raised people's hope that maybe farmers will be considered in this program. But now we see that despite the launch, despite changing it from subsidy to AIP, it's not benefiting smallholder farmers.
Not at all.
I think it's high time the government should think of other ways of helping smallholder farmers. And if I was one of the decision makers at the Ministry of Agriculture, what I would say, what I would propose was, please terminate the AIP. It's not benefiting people. It's just, you know, you are just spending money on nothing.
It's just a way for others to pocket more.
Yeah, despite its main objective was to help people who cannot afford to buy fertilizer, you know, farm inputs on their actual prices. Now it's like we launched the program to fuel hunger, because ever since the AIP came into existence, we've been having challenges. You know, farmers have not been accessing fertilizer in good time, and now we're talking of fertilizer prices going high globally. That's a challenge.
Yeah, it's a challenge. Instead of having the positive outcomes, we are having the negative ones, of which is the opposite of why the AIP was introduced, because I believe it was introduced as a way to fight out and end hunger in the country. But then it's something that is now bringing hunger in the country.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are going to starve.
Yeah, you know, and we cannot even be ashamed to disclose that our spot checks, the spot checks we had last month, also reviewed that marriages have ended because of the AIP. You find a woman rather, spending 3 days you know, in those tables, waiting for cheaper fertilizer, and the man suspects that
like maybe she went out, she was maybe with another man.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, there are, of course there are minor issues, but if only there were some strategies, you know, good strategies in this AIP, we could have been seeing a difference. So, but now they should terminate it if it's not benefiting smallholder farmers. Yeah.
It's no use to have it.
All right. Yeah, there's no use.
Okay, moving on, the Daily Times on the second page, no female candidate for August 23 by-elections. Partly, no female candidate has expressed interest to contest in the August 23 local government by-elections in Wenya Ward in Chitipa, Lupembe Ward in Kalonga, and Shile Ward in Balaka. A statement from Malawi Electoral Commission indicates that 5 candidates have expressed interest to contest in Wenya, 4 in Lupembe and 6 in Shile Ward. Okay.
All right. we look forward to see who is going to be elected in those elections, you know. Yes.
I think women are like, let's just step down. These things are not meant for us. Because you men, you tend to ponderate us women.
No, well, I do not agree with what you're saying, you know. Even the laws in Malawi, they tend to sleep on women, you know. The laws were meant to help women attain justice than men. You know, it's hard to be a man in Malawi.
That was what was written in there, but then on ground, okay, on ground, it's opposite. What happens on ground, it's the opposite.
Well, there is Oxfam, there is women lawyers, women in politics. All those organizations were established to help women contest. But now you see there is not even one, not even a single organization fighting for men in politics. Have you seen that?
Because you mean you know you are capable of that, because those organizations, I think they were there just to help build up women so that they should have that they should be motivated and have that feeling, okay, I'm a woman, I can do this. That's why we have those organizations and stuff. But then you, for men, you just wake up and be like, I can do this, I can do that. So for women, I think you men, that's why you didn't see any female like showing interest to participate in the by-elections.
But if there was a woman contesting in those elections, you would see, you could have seen the Oxfam, all the three organizations were mentioned supporting her. You know, even preparing political rallies for her. So maybe it's because there is no woman. We can say, well, we were hoping to see at least one contesting in those elections, but then
No.
next time.
Maybe next time it should be a wake-up call that next time, women, please come out and stand for us.
All right, moving on. Accident, stress, referral hospitals, and that's of course the headline. Partly the story says the country's main referral hospitals, Kabozo Central Hospital and Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital, are registering increased road traffic accident cases, with motorcycles and bicycles at the center of the crisis.
These motorcycles, you know, a day cannot pass without you hearing news that a certain motorcycle operator had an accident somewhere, because a lot of them, they just like train each other in the villages, and then they are on the road operating without their licenses. They don't even know how they are supposed to render themselves, because you just see them move just like that. That's why they are involved in a lot of accidents. I think it's high time maybe road traffic, they start putting more effort in training, offering that training.
I remember it was last year. I was one of the reporters who covered the demonstrations of the motorcycle operators against the government. They were complaining that the amount of money we are supposed to pay to operate a license for a motorcycle is a bit higher than what we can afford. That time it was on 90,000, and then government said, oh, we are going to look into the issue, and then it came and said, now we've circumcised the amount with 10,000, and it's now at 80, and some of the licenses were being obtained at 70,000, an amount which is not at least okay. We can say that the money was at least better, but then looking at the motorcycle operators we have in Malawi, most of them they do that. They don't own the motorcycles.
It's a job as well.
Yeah, so for a person who doesn't own a motorcycle, to tell him that, oh, obtain a license at a fee of 90,000 kwaja or 80,000, it's a bit harder.
Yeah, it's a bit harder because you know all these people, the job they'll do, or even the amount of money they make in a day or in a month, it cannot also reach to that amount for them to obtain a license, because it's the, what do you call it, hand to mouth. Yes,
Yeah.
because the little they make, that's what they use maybe to feed their families.
Yeah, you find that the boss is also waiting for the same money.
Yeah.
So you've made at least 3,000 kwaja. So you have to divide the money. That I will give the boss 2,000 and remain with 1,000. The fuel prices also went high. You know, so now
Things are just hard in
it's hard to survive in Malawi.
Yeah.
All right, withdraw emotion on judiciary. That's another story which appears on the 4th page of the Nation newspaper, and also that is our last local story in the Nation newspaper, and it says some civil society leaders under the banner Malawi CSO-led Black Economic Empowerment have asked Parliament to withdraw a motion to have the House Committee investigate a judicial officer, saying such an act will undermine judiciary independence.
I disagree. Okay, on my part, I don't disagree, because I followed up the story, the case, what happened, because you're owing me money. It came to you and then I asked you, Herbert, can you please give me my money back? I have some projects I want to use the money on. And then you refuse to give me my money. I came and then I took maybe a cell phone from you, like, okay, I'm going to withhold your cell phone until you return my money. Then, instead of you returning my money, you go to the court and then you sue me. And then the court passes the judgment that I should give you money, which is you also passing the money that you're owing me.
Well, the issue of a filling station sale, you know, it's a bit tricky, because I also was following the issue on the other part, you know. I had a chance of having an interview with one of the involved person, who is Alfred Gagada, the owner of Masters group of companies, you know. He told me that they went to court. Okay, all right. Initially, Gangata owed Nkweza 1.5 million kwacha. So Nkweza opted to confiscate the keys for his vehicle. So the guy, after time had passed, you know, he told me that they agreed to drill a borehole. So they went to a place where they were supposed to drill a borehole. So they did that, and the borehole was drilled. Now, but they say Nkweza was reluctant to pay back to give back the keys. So that's when he took the issue to court. And the court passed a judgment which said Kweza's filling station was supposed to be taken away. So they were saying that the judgment was based on the loss of business. You know, Kweza was supposed to compensate Gangata the money he was supposed to get in the period he has been keeping the keys.
Which is double.
Yeah, which is double.
Or
so
maybe triple.
yeah, so So Kweza did not give back the keys. Later on, Sheriff, which was ordered by the High Court Judge Ken Manda, went there and confiscated the filling station, and later on sold it to Simama. So the tricky part of the issue is that Simama once showed interest to buy the filling station at 6.7 billion kwaja, and now when the court ordered the filling station to be sold at 767 million kwaja, Simama bought the filling station at that amount. And you know that at first he showed at 6.7, and now he has bought it at 776 million. It's like the money was deducted. So now the questions are arising that why is it that the filling station was sold to Simama, who showed interest initially that he wanted the filling station at 6.7 billion kwacha. So it's like it leaves a lot to be desired. But then the parliament discussing the issue, in summoning the judge to discipline him, I think that's overstepping. Yeah, I agree with the CSOs that it's overstepping. Judiciary is considered to be an independent body. So I think we cannot say the members of parliament can summon a judge and discipline him. It has to go by the law. The law stipulates that the the committee on laws in parliament has to lodge a complaint to the judicial commission. So it's the judicial commission which has the mandate to discipline the judge. So now the members of parliament were just passing motions, out of excitement. We know that some of those people got money from Gweza, and some of these CSOs, some of the members of parliament have gotten money from the Gangadas. So now it's like the issue of money. They are fighting over what they have gotten. So it's a bit a waste of time to be discussing issues that some of the people have interest on. That's why I'm saying that this issue, we cannot say Kweza is right, or Gangada is right, or the CSOs are right, or the parliamentarians were right by passing a motion to summon the judge. But now the issue is, please, parliamentarians, you should focus on other issues, issues that are going to benefit Malawians out there. We know that you've received money to discuss this issue. You've received 40 million. Reports have, reports are indicating that, they have been palm oiled. So. Now, since they have gotten money, they have forgotten people from villages. There was an issue of Musa James, a boy who was sentenced 8 years imprisonment for being found in possession of chamber bags. The issue was never discussed in parliament.
Yes, but then it's surprising that they're interested in this.
But it had public interest, and now the reason is they did not get something from Musa James's parents. That's why they didn't discuss the issue. But now they have gotten something from the people involved in the matter. That's why they're busy banging heads on things.
Because you don't bite a feeding hand. When someone feeds you, you're supposed. When someone has fed you, you're supposed to do the job and show them that you have worked on it, right?
All right.
Okay.
Well, news just coming in is that the burial of late Abraham Susa, who is the father to Archbishop Thomas Ilukum Susa, will be tomorrow, the 11th of August, 2022, at Iba Village, Namwera Parish, and that is in Mangochi, beginning at 10 a.m. That is tomorrow. And may his soul rest in peace.
Yes, and please, if you are able to, or maybe in your free time, do go there and then attend the vigil.
It's very important to pay your last respect to a departed person. Either, there's this tendency that in Malawi, when someone passes on, what we think is the good things that he did, but we never think of, we do not think of paying our last respect. So I think it's high time we think twice
on that.
Yeah. All right, once again, may his soul rest in peace.
And condolences to the family.
Yeah, and condolences to Archbishop Thomas Lugum Susa.
Okay, moving on still on the second page, leads 14,310 teachers still unemployed. Part of the story, government is yet to recruit about 14,310 teachers for both secondary and primary schools, following a statement made in Parliament yesterday by Minister of Education Agnes Nyaronji. Our calculations shows that out of the figure, 6,492 are from the various cohorts of the initial primary teacher education (EPT), and 7,818 are qualified secondary school teachers.
When you look at the figure, 14,310 teachers still unemployed, and well, that's worrisome.
It is.
And you find that while some teachers, and if you look at those teachers, they have never been employed before in the civil service, and now they are struggling outside the civil service with unemployment rates going high in Malawi. The president then comes and fishes someone from retirement to read a certain department in the civil service. Is that fair?
No, it's not. Despite them having all the qualities and the qualifications of the job, they are still not offered the job. And then you tend to think that, okay, they are not offering these people a job, and then you hear news that in some of the schools there are insufficient teachers, they need more teachers, but then you say, you need more teachers, but then we have more trained and qualified teachers who are just staying at home and then unemployed. What is government really doing about that? I think it's a high time that government should really put much effort in the education sector.
You know, I once said that apart from journalism, the most abused profession, rather. Yeah, the most abused is teaching. You know, teachers are being neglected. They have been sidelined for years now. I think it's high time we need to consider the good work they play. You know, they play a vital role. For us to stand here, to sit here and read newspapers to people, to our viewers, there was a teacher.
Yes,
there was someone. Yeah, there was someone who struggled with us. You know, denying to go to school. Our parents made it possible that we should at least appear in class. And then there was someone who said, "This is code B, and this is A. This is letter
This
S."
is how we do it.
And so we need to recognize the vital role they play. The vital role played by teachers.
I think the teachers in this country, we really do align our teachers, but then they are the most important people are like in our lives, because even if the government officials talk of the president, behind him there is a teacher who
That's a quick fact, you know. Quick facts about this issue. There cannot be a president without a teacher. There cannot be a vice president without a teacher. There cannot be a journalist without a teacher.
There can be
no nurses without teachers. No judges without teachers. So even in the human rights department, in the civil service, there cannot be the office of president and cabinet without a teacher. There must be a teacher behind all those things, big stuff we see.
It's high time these teachers should be considered, and then I think they are the most people who need to be earning more. Yeah, their salaries must be also considered. Okay, the salaries you give the teachers, these people are important. Please, let's make them our privilege. Like, okay, these teachers, they should maybe earn a lot more than our ministers in parliament.
And at the moment, it would be fair to conclude that teachers are more important than the office of the minister. Alright, now let's have a quick look at some of the sports stories we have in the Daily Times as well as the Nation newspaper. Now on the back page of the Nation newspaper, bring Simba on, and that's according to Bullets. Partly the story says Malawi representative in the Confederation African Football, Total Energies Champions League, Nyasa Big Bullets. say they anticipate a tough Premier League first round following a draw against Tanzania Giants. Simba CSC rather. TNM Super League defending champions will start their campaign in the Premier League first round at home on the weekend of September 9 to 11, while the second leg will be played on the weekend of September 16 to 18. 2022, following a draw yesterday in Cairo, Egypt.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the back of the page, Leeds are all set for FDH Bank Cup quarterfinals draw. Part of the story, Football Association of Malawi has said the 2022 FDH Bank Cup quarterfinals draw will be held today at Mpila Village in Chiwembe Township, Luntha. Farm Competitions and Communications Director Gomezani Zakazaka confirmed the development but did not disclose when quarterfinal matches will take place.
Well, I don't know, but there is a tough race, between the Nyasa Big Bullets and Mighty Wanderers. So, yeah, it's going to be an exciting match between the two. That's if they meet, but then the quarterfinals will be played soon enough.
Let's hope so. I wish them all the best.
Alright, 3 NHS titles at Olympiad, and that's another story which appears on the second page from the back page of the Nation newspaper. Partly it says 3 Malawi national chess team players earned titles at just ended 44th World Chess Olympiad in Chennai, India. Candidate Master Alfred Shintele has been promoted to fight master status, while Stanford Chiwambo and Martha Kapalamura have earned CM and WCM titles.
Okay, in the entertainment segment, arts and culture, we have a story, reads Epic Mammon Keith Daniels TZ No Show. Part of the story reads Epic Group Chief Executive Officer Yola Mukawanga has said they will not comment on Nigerian musician Keith Daniels' recent reports of his arrest in Tanzania following his summer amplified no-show last Sunday. Kawanga has since said the Buga Stars August 27, 2022 concert at Lilongwe Golf Club is intact despite some quarters expressing concern with the arts no-show escapades.
Well, the scandalous musician, he has been jumping from one scandal to another. In Zambia, there was a scandal he made, during his arrival. But now in Tanzania, he was arrested for not showing up at a concert she was supposed to perform. Despite being paid, and reports are indicating that he rejected because there was no God churn.
No God churn. And he also claimed that the organizers of the show did not welcome him well by not helping him to carry his bag. That's why he refused to go on stage.
Of course he's a celebrity, but such a minor issues, without he managed to carry his bag, and that was normal.
And then
maybe we don't know. Okay, all right. It just depends with a set of do's and don'ts that were agreed on during their meeting. Maybe they agreed that you are going to carry my bag upon my arrival at the airport, and now it didn't happen like that. So maybe he was upset. But then to us, it's a minor issue,
It wasn't that big issue, but then it's the good part is that he has agreed that he's going to perform. For free. He has promised the people a free show, and he has also he has since apologized to his Tanzanian fans. Let's hope he doesn't do the same here when he comes here.
All right, now on arts and culture in the Nation newspaper, on the arts and culture page, there appears Yao Cultural Festival back, and that's of course the headline. Watch Yao Angalus. The Chuanja Yao Cultural grouping has organized a mega annual festival That will take place on September 10. In an interview, Chiwanja Chayao Publicity Secretary Donald Sembereka said this event will take place at Imanga Primary School in Balaka district.
Which is a good thing for all the hours.
Yeah, they should go in large numbers. Let us see what Yao Angaluza.
What does that even mean?
Okay, what Yao Angaluza, it means, I don't know, a Yao doesn't lost. Yeah, we can put it like that. I don't know if I've put it correctly, but that's what it means, you know, that he doesn't lost, you know. Yeah.
Because I hear that a lot, like, hey, why you lose?
Yeah, the owls never lose. That's what it means. Watch your wangaluza.
They always stand out.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any answer?
Here, Leeds Brasto gets kudos from Zanzibar Reggae Festival. Part of the story, Leeds Zanzibar Reggae Festival events manager Jolie Condell has heaped praise on the country's reggae dancehall musician Blasto, saying he staged a good performance. Blasto and the Tough Leon band performed at the festival on Saturday, where he shared the stage with several acts from other countries. Okay, which is a good thing.
Blasto is the baddest reggae dance artist, you know. He represented us in Tanzania at the Zanzibar concert. So, yeah, all the best, and he gets kudos. That means
Malawi is also being recognized.
Yeah, Malawi is being recognized. And the last arts and culture story appearing in the Russian newspaper says Silungwe unveils new book, sells 100 copies. And that's, of course, the headline. Partly the story says water and social media influencer, writer rather, Kelvin Silungwe on Malawi on Monday started selling his new book title in honest ways with 100 copies sold on her first day. Well, I know Silungwe, he's a good writer. His book, among others, focuses on issues of mental health. Well, I will release my book on mental health soon, and I hope you'll be the first person to buy it.
Of course, I'm going to be the person to purchase it.
Yeah, all right. It's titled "The Audacity of Depression." You know, yeah, it's mainly focuses on circumstances that people have passed through, and also the experiences I got from the surrounding concerning mental health. Yeah.
Kudos.
All right, that also wraps up our today's Fresh Review. My name is Helbert Karanda, and I was joined by
Alex Chizombe.
Good morning.